Hi everyone, I'm Courtney Cuellar and I'm here with Garrin and Matt from the International Kettlebell Games. And they're just going to tell us a little bit about what's going on this year and how things went for them last year.
That's right.
All right,
That's
so
right.
what's new for 2014, guys?
Wow, what's new for 2014? We have a lot of stuff going on this year. Right out the gates, the International Kettlebell Games Association, we launched that just about a month and a half ago. We have new events this year. We have new exercises being debuted in the 2014 season. We have qualifiers now, as well as we're getting ready to unveil the judges certification program as well. So a lot of different things happening for 2014.
Okay, and how do the qualifiers work exactly?
So qualifiers are one-day events instead of the finals, which is a two-day event. You only have to deal with 3 different exercises. Each qualifier will be a little bit different. They'll have 2 of the same exercises, maybe 1 of the same exercise, but there will be differences between the qualifiers. And then the top competitors from each qualifier do get invited to the finals. All the pertinent information, the dates, the actual exercises that are in the qualifiers, they're all listed at the IKB Games website under events, so that you could start training for them now. The dates are listed and their locations, we're kind of spreading them out, so hopefully no matter where you are in the country, you can try to make one.
That's right, get ready, get ready.
Awesome. And I heard you say something about a new judges certification program.
Yeah, so Garrin and I last year, we kind of talked about it and we decided judging's super important for the integrity of a kettlebell event. Great judging is invisible. You never go, oh, that judging was so great at that event, but terrible judging will ruin an event. People whisper, oh, that person shouldn't have won, or look at all those reps that were counted that shouldn't have been. So we're trying to put together something so our judges are on the same footing. They should be able to, doesn't matter who the judge is, who they're judging, you should get consistent numbers. Especially if we're giving away cash prizes, you want to make sure judging is top notch. So it's just something we put together. It will make people go through a little online thing to look at some videos, to judge some competition reps, and then we kind of go through and we'll pick the best of the best to wind up being judges at our events.
That's right.
Awesome. And for those who don't know, what exactly is the IKGA?
Okay, so the IKGA stands for International Kettlebell Games Association. And Matt and I discussed this, and we both felt that it was a good idea to start an organization like this. What it is, it's an organization that umbrellas as well as produces the events like the IKG, International Kettlebell Games. Another event that we have coming up shortly, it's more of a local thing, the Fat Loss and Kettlebell Challenge is also coming up. So it umbrellas things like that, other events, certifications like the judges certification as well. So I'm, for those, a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people do know that I'm also a competitive powerlifter. So in the powerlifting world, there's all these different organizations and associations, and the particular association that I'm affiliated with, their motto is for the lifters, by the lifters, and I love that.
Yeah.
So everybody who's involved in the IKGA, are going to be lifters essentially. Mm-hmm. The judges will also be competitors as well. Will that always be? Maybe not, but it is. Once again, I like that camaraderie. I like the idea that this whole thing is being organized and put together by co-lifters. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So in coming to put together a top-notch event, it's not cheap. It ain't cheap. So we had to come up with something to help offset some of the administrative costs, the production cost that goes into something like this. So that is what helps kind of to allow us to be able to travel, move judges around, teach, do all this, goofy, crazy stuff that we do. But then on the same token, and I just want people out there, we're not profiting. Believe me, we're not profiting. But what we also wanted to do is the people who got into the association, we were able to give back. So if you do sign up, man, it comes back, 5-fold back at you. So you get pretty deep discounts into registering for the events that we offer, certifications, things like that. as well as even like apparel. We start releasing apparel, you'll get discounts on stuff like that as well. And something we thought was really cool this year is, and I think we're gonna pretty much go forward with this as well, unless it just bombs in the face and I can't see that happening, is the 6th event of the finals will be voted on by the IKGA members. So we think that's pretty exciting too. Yeah, so I mean that's basically what the International Kettlebell Games Association is all about.
So switching gears, how was it winning the first Dominant Male title of these games?
Well, it was flipping fantastic. That's how it felt. You know, it was great for more than one reason. It was a little nerve-wracking as well. So a lot of people know that, you know, I had just 2 weeks prior to the International Kettlebell Games, I had the world competition, Worlds for powerlifting. So I don't ever want to train for 2 different things separated only by 2 weeks again. That's just very nerve-wracking and very, very intense and very hard on the body, you know. But I had to do it. So training for both of those at the same time, 7 days a week, and especially the last month was a grind and it was grueling. I was basically teeter-tottering on being overtrained. So at that point, I had to really invest a lot of time into rest and restoration, and I had to make sure my nutrition was on point. So I was getting like massages every week for the 6 weeks leading up to all that, just to make sure that I could, you know, keep my 45-year-old body held together, you know. So it was really, really grueling. And then, you know, I had a very successful world meet, you know, setting a couple world records and then winning my division. Then right after that, to switch gears and really focus down and just, you know, batten down the hatches for the Kettlebell Games. And leading up to it, I felt pretty good. The very first day, the 3rd event, which was the medley, the blessed long cycle, you know, I'm going with those double 32-kilogram bells, and I think it was somewhere around the 8th rep or something like that, I stumbled. And when I stumbled with that kind of weight above my waist, you know, some things went a little haywire and I torqued my knee. And I knew I was kind of in trouble. You know, I muscled through the rest of the event, didn't do what I wanted to. I felt, you know, if that hadn't happened, I'm pretty sure I'd been able to PR that day. But it's okay, I tied my best, you know, I think it was 47, 48, 49 reps, something like that total. But right after that, instead of going home and being social or going out with everybody else and, you know, being schmoozing with everybody, I had to go home, basically lock myself in the cave and do all of the natural remedies I could think of to help speed up the healing process. And I was really teeter-tottering on taking myself out of the event, because as much as I love competing, completely blowing out my knee is not worth it, you know. So the next day, I woke up in the morning, I went and picked up a knee brace, and I said, you know what, my knee is feeling about 80%, I'm just gonna muscle through this and see what I can do. So, you know, even though there was no other lightweight pro, there was 2 dominating heavyweight pros that I was going up for against, or to try to get that dominant male title. You know, you have John Lesko, who is a kettlebell superstar, you know, America's strongest kettlebell athlete that we have. Matter of fact, he just got back from Worlds competing. And then we have Leroy Johnson, who's a phenomenal pro MMA fighter and just a natural athlete across the board. Super strong, has great cardio. He's a phenom. So, you know, I had some work cut out for me, even if I was fresh. So, you know, the second day, you know, 2 out of 3 events, I didn't PR. I actually had, you know, subpar performances compared to what I had done in practice. But I had to focus so much on making sure I kept proper form and didn't, you know, let my knee get away from me again, that it just, you know, it changed my game plan a little bit. And even in the 3rd event of that day, which was the monster set, I normally do sumo style clean and jerks. I had to switch to the outside because that for some reason having my knees out, it was too risky, and I just felt very unstable. So. So when the dust cleared, I still was able to walk away with that title, but it was, you know, only after Matt and I stressed to death because Leroy basically forced a 3-way tie break. And it wouldn't have been that way, Leroy. I gotta tell the world this. If all of a sudden you didn't show up and have cardio that was flipping, no one's ever seen. So sandbag all his training. So that day, you know, Matt and I were looking at it going, you know, if he ends up winning this event, this is going to make life very, very difficult for the judges, you know, and just coming out with, you know, who's going to win. I'm like, he's never beat me in this, even though I didn't do it. This is not going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Don't worry about it. And he smoked me. So, yeah. So it was, but you know what? We had a third tiebreaker in place. If he had done a little bit better on the first day, it would have went to a fifth tiebreaker. We had figured out. We weren't ready for that. So, in retrospect, Leroy, thank you very, very much for allowing him and I to get together and really fix that situation. So if it does go to a 5 tiebreak ever again, we've got that covered. But yeah, so it felt fantastic.
Nice. And how has training been this season?
Training has been really, really good. You know, I don't feel like I'm overtrained. But we're not at a peaking point yet either. Mm-hmm. So, but the thing is, I'm also a lot smarter in my training, and I'm very diversified in what I do. So, you know, I have certain days for powerlifting, certain days I even do Olympic lifting. I have certain days for metabolic conditioning. I have certain days for isolation work, and then I have 1 or 2 days that I will spend on International Kettlebell Games specific drilling. So, and that's just been working so far. So no days off, man. No days off ever. Especially going forward and trying to achieve what I want to achieve this year, and it's trying to defend the dominant male title. You know, shoot for the sun. You know, I have no expectations in it. You know, that I'm going to be the best Garrin I'm going to be that day, that's for sure. But is it going to be enough to beat some of these young studs? I know they're showing up for this. Who knows? You know, but that's the goal. We'll find out. But it's going good.
And are you going to be competing this year at all?
I'm going to try. Right now, probably first time in 3 years, I've been healthy for almost 6 or 7 months. Yes. So, you know, no major injuries. I'm going to start training for it, and as long as I can stay healthy, I would certainly like to try to at least hit one of the qualifiers. I think it'd be pretty difficult for us both to be in the finals and run it.
We can do it!
Yeah.
We can do it!
I guess this year I would just be happy doing a qualifier and just trying to dip my toes back into the kettlebell sport.
So in one sentence, each of y'all sum up the IKG games.
One sentence? One sentence?
Just one.
The International Kettlebell Games is a forum for the complete kettlebell athlete to come test their might.
International Kettlebell Games is something that either a new kettlebell competitor or a veteran kettlebell competitor can do that's a little different than a traditional kettlebell sport. Bam.
Boom. And there it is.
Yeah. See you guys later.